Today we're going to talk about using the Cada Multi Egg mold. Now this multi-egg mold, as you can see, makes 9 little Easter eggs, and they are actually 9 itty bitty cute teeny tiny Easter eggs. So I'm going to show you the process that I use. Now there's some trial and error in here. This was the first or second time I had used this mold. So there was some trial and error in that, but that's good because you get to see some of my fails. One of the most important things that you need to be paying attention to is how wet your mix is. So you can see right there, I'm testing, I'm squeezing, and I just give the slightest pressure and it breaks. So I actually am going to add some more binder, and I'm gonna make sure that I mix that in really good, really good. You're gonna see me mixing a lot in this, and you're gonna see me adding a lot more binder than I typically do with my recipe. So this is actually my high humidity recipe, and it's actually cold here right now. So I'm actually having to use more binder than I normally do to make sure that my bath bombs are staying together. But you also want to have a wetter mixture in general with a 3D printed mold, but especially a multi press like this, you're going to want to make sure you're having a wetter mixture. Now my mixture is generally wetter with oils, not binder, but I am using a lot more binder as well in this time. So I'm just lightly filling, and as I'm filling, I'm kind of giving it a shake. Now Bailey Cada has a video on the Cada Molds YouTube channel of how to use the gumdrop mold, or not the gumdrop, the gumball mold, and the multi-round mold. And this is pretty similar. She shows like scooping individually and then kind of overfilling. I found that I just filled it. I just sprinkled it and filled it in like that. You're gonna want to experiment and try different ways for yourself. And then I'm just lightly pressing it. I'm kind of squeezing it and lightly pressing it. Right here, I'm tapping because there's all that extra mix that's kind of on the side of it. So I'm just tapping to kind of get that loose and make sure everything's shaken up. And most of the work for this though is the hand squeezing, lightly filling, having a wet mix, having it overfull, and then hand squeezing. I am gently pressing right there. Like, I cannot express to you how gently I'm pressing. I am not leaning my full weight into it. I am just gently pressing to make sure I can get that middle piece all the way molded, and then tapping the top. And this time around, I removed the piece that was not flush to the rings. This mold doesn't have a top or bottom. Both of the press pieces are the same height, so it doesn't really have a top piece. Now, I don't recommend unmolding this way, and you can see why. It just was more problematic for me to unmold this way, and I tended to, oh my god, pick it up, Robyn. There we go. I tended to break more bath bombs when I would try to flip it out. So instead, I usually use like a soap box or something like that. I didn't have anything big enough, so I folded it over onto this piece of bubble wrap, so you could do that. And I'm tapping the sides of the ring to help release the bath bombs that are inside of there. And then I'm going to gently lift that top off, and voila, as you can see, everybody comes out just fine except for that one that I had already messed up a little bit, and that middle one tends to stick, but with a little bit of gentle pressure, he'll pop right out and be just fine. Now it looks crumbly and messy, like it looks like a hot mess with those little bath bombs, and that is just the part that is in between the rings. That part kind of gets filled up, and so when you unmold, it makes kind of a mess. So later I transfer it, and you'll see me do it a couple different ways, which is good for you because you can have a couple different options of what might work for you. But I use a bigger piece, and I flip the mold onto it, so I'm not getting, bath bomb dust all over my tray every single time. And so now I'm just kind of resetting. Oops, I broke that one picking it up. It was fine, it just was me. So I broke that one, and then I'm just kind of resetting, cleaning up, and then we're gonna try it again. Now that first time I pulled the piece that was not flush off of the rings, on the rings first. This time I will pull the piece that is flush off first, and I think that actually worked slightly better for me, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And this, actually, I don't know. So I don't think I added binder to this. There was one of the times where I molded it and I did not add binder, and I probably should have because it doesn't come out as cleanly and I break more of the bath bombs. So that's why it is important to use binder. And you can see right there, I'm showing you that both press pieces are the same height. There's not a front piece or a back piece to speak of. So it doesn't really matter which side that you put down or unmold first. I don't know. I don't think it really did that much. And here I'm lightly filling the mold. And I do another angle later on that you can see a side angle, so you can kind of see the actual mechanism of what I'm saying when I'm saying that I'm lightly filling it. You can kind of see what I'm talking about as I'm sprinkling it in. And I'm just topping it off, kind of smoothing it out. Any divots or dents that I find where the mold or the mix might not have been as full, I'm filling those in. And now I'm going to put this top piece on. And I'm sorry for the informality. People just, they commented that it didn't sound like me in the last few videos. So I'm trying to do more of like a true to life. Like, this is just me responding to it. Now, girl, can you see how thick that Saturn ring is? Oh my God. So however much that top press piece is sticking up, that is how thick your Saturn ring is going to be. And she's thick. She's really thick this time. I think that was another reason. I'm pretty sure I break a couple on this go round. And I think that that's another reason why I break them, because you'd want to overfill it, but you don't want to make them like super bulky and heavy. So tapping, and I am unmolding. Well, they look so pretty right there, don't they? Oh my gosh. That's very satisfying. I do have to say, like pulling that top off and just having the top, for me, the top just comes straight off. Like they don't stick inside of there. So that's pretty cool, and it just comes right off. So there I see what I'm saying? I folded that thing, and that makes it easier to work with too. So I folded that, and then I'm gonna tap. I joked in the Bath Fizz and Foam Facebook group that you could play a drinking game with the number of times that I say to tap the bath bomb mold. Okay, so the inside piece kind of gets stuck, and I don't know why, but I love digging it out of there. I don't know why. It's super satisfying. But yeah, you do want to make sure that you're cleaning that out between each round that you're doing. And here we go. I'm going to unmold. I don't think I tapped the rings very much. And then I think I fail my bath bombs this time around. I can't remember. So that's the thing. Like, I recorded this video a while ago. And then we had a big winter storm come through Texas. So it's been a while since I've actually watched this. I'm kind of doing like a live reaction video to my own bath bombs. It's like another person made these, because it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've washed my hair since then, things have happened. So, okay, so there I am trying to push them out. I get one. And that's the problem because I made them too thick, I think. I get one. Okay, there we go. But look how thick those Saturn rings are. Oh my God. So these bath bombs, I weighed the individual little minis. Oh, there's a broken one too. Okay, I mean, that's not bad though. That's still out of 9, I got 6. I mean, that's not too bad, especially like, I get the hang of it later too. But yeah, so I weighed each bath bomb, and they weigh like 20 grams. So if you think about that, they're very small. That's less than an ounce each. So they're very, very small. So once again, with the binder. Now, it's important that you're working with the small mix. That's the drop test that I do right there. So a drop test is where you squeeze your mix and drop it to see what happens. Also, when I'm doing those, I'm also applying like very light pressure to it, just to see if it pops and like turns to dust in my hand. It's not the time to mold. If it does that, you need more binder. So I'm filling the mold again and gently shaking it. I think that, we've all seen me do this before, but it's just good to repeat it. Like, you fill it and you gently shake it. And so most of the time with molds, like the general ways that they're gonna work, they're all gonna be basically the same. Like they're all gonna have the same basic premise, and just 2 or 3 of them are gonna kind of have their own trick. So, you know, I'm gonna make as many videos as I can of as many molds as I can, but I can guarantee you that once you get going and you make a few different types, you will begin to say like, okay, this mold is really similar to this other one, and I think that I should try this because this worked for that, right? So here I am filling it. Now that satin ring width I feel like is perfect. Like I think this is probably my best one that I do. Yeah, I think that satin ring width is perfect. The other thing I was going to say for this is that you really want to work in small batches when you're doing any kind of minis. So these are very small, and you want to make sure that you're not working with a full-size batch. This is I want to say a quarter size batch or a half batch of mine, which is still probably too big, honestly, for, you know, the amount of bath bombs that you get out of this. So, okay, so I removed I can't tell which piece I removed. See, I don't think it matters really which piece you remove, the piece that's flush or the piece that is pushed up. I don't think that it matters. I think it's more about like tapping it and overfilling, but not overpacking. You know, like you want to fill it, but you don't want to like push it in there really densely. And lifting that top piece off, like, oh God, it just feels really good when you lift that piece off and it just comes straight off. And then making sure to tap. Now, Robyn, what are you doing? Like, I'm like swinging that pan around. You see my little bath bomb start to go rolling and flying. Like, I could literally be doing this on the table. There's no reason that I need to be doing that on the pan and sending those bath bombs whacking. Don't, you know, do what I say. Don't do what I do. And once again, the middle one gets stuck, but it's okay. You just apply gentle, even pressure, and he will pop out. So, and I'll show you in a second that he popped out just fine, and he's perfect and adorable and itty bitty and cute. Oh my God. It's like the size of a teeny tiny it's the size of a teeny tiny freaking egg. Yes, that's exactly what it actually literally is. But it is a very tiny little egg. They're very, very cute. Like, I cannot describe to you just how cute they actually are. Okay, here we go. Look at this, something new. So this is a different angle. As you can see, we're doing a side angle, and that is so you can see me filling them up. Now, hey, look, binder. What, man, I feel like we've talked about this before, but there I am with the binder. So I use water as my binder. You can use rubbing alcohol, you can use witch hazel, whatever is your binder of choice, right? You can use that. I prefer water. And this is an oil heavy recipe. So it's wet with the oil, and then I'm using water as my binder, and that actually kind of slightly activates it and helps it stick together and makes a nice hard bath bomb for me. So I'm filling it, and as you can see, like, I'm literally just picking up mix and like letting it just run out of my hand. Like, I'm not packing it down in there. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying lightly filling it. Like, you're just kind of sprinkling the mix on in. And then I am topping it off to kind of make it even, looking for any places where, you know, the mix might have settled and left a hole. And I'm pressing that top piece in. And this is a really good angle because you can see all the junk left on the side. And when I'm tapping, that's part of what I'm doing, is I'm like tapping all that crud off so it doesn't get all over my table. That's part of the reason I'm doing that. I'm a messy person, and I'm a messy maker, and so, you know, I gotta get some of that. I gotta do the best I can to try to not make a huge mess. So I'm just squeezing, and then I'm just pressing just like a couple times. It is like the gentlest press in the world. I'm just making sure that I'm pressing that middle little guy in. Tap it, tap it, tap, tap, and then remove. That was the flush piece. That was very easy to see. You guys, can you see that? Oh my God, I don't know why it just feels so good to see that. And here we go again with the tap, 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 tap. Yep, tapping. Yep, and some more tapping action. Yeah, so please, YouTube, do not ban me. I'm talking about literally tapping the mold with a spoon as hard as you can. And then I'm going to remove that top piece. It should just come right off. Now you can set this on the table. There is literally no reason that I need to be holding this in my hand except that you guys can see it easier. So, and that squashed little section right there, that's really fun to clean out. And I'm going to tap the ring piece now to help everybody release, or not, just kidding. Making a liar out of myself. Once again, little guy in the middle, he's stuck. That's okay. Gentle pressure, evenly, because he's an egg shape, you know, he's not round. So you gotta make sure you're like hitting both ends of it, right? But you just kind of evenly tap him out, and look, he's so cute. Now I will go in later, or I did go in later, these are done, but I did go in later with a small paintbrush, and I tapped or brushed out off the edges of these because the edges were a little bit crumbly. So I did do that to make the edges smoother. If you're having problems with your edges not being clean, like that's a suggestion that I have for you. I'm going to show you real quick how I dry them. I like to leave them kind of standing up as much as possible because they are eggs and they do have that rounded side. I didn't want the one side to be flat. Oh, look at that. That pink one is a regular size bath bomb egg. Like that's a 4.5 ounce bath bomb right there. Just to give you a size comparison, because I know that it's kind of hard to tell in the video like just how itty bitty tiny they are, but they're like little guys. They're cute. And I just wanted to show you him next to his big brother. So what am I doing here? Oh, okay. So this, I know that people are going to ask because I didn't weigh it in this video. It's mostly by like look and feel. So I am weighing the empty mold, and I tiered the scale with the empty mold on it just to see how much mix I'm actually adding to the mold. And I believe it comes out to like 7 ounces, which I told you that each individual bath bomb was about 20 grams. So that pretty much adds up. So it's not like quite right on, you know, but it's pretty close. So, and I think, you know, you're not going to be selling these as an individual bath bomb. I don't think. Like, I think most people are probably going to sell like 3 or 4 of them together. So, yep, 7 ounces. Look at me. Go me. But, you know, so you can kind of try to, you know, group them together. So you have like at least 4 ounces or something. So when you're labeling it, you can make sure that you have that. Squeeze. Getting some squeezes in. And getting my tap on right there. Tapping away. Okay, yep, we got it, Robyn. You tap. Yeah. Nope, one more squeeze. Just, there's so much of it that it just comes down to like, no, I feel like it's just based off feel, you know, how I feel about it. And I think, I just can't make up my mind. I'm trying to remember which side I remove first. I don't remember because I'm pretty sure if I go back and watch this now that I have gone back and watched it, I'm pretty sure I go back and forth with whichever one I remove. So I don't really think that it matters which one that you remove first. They all seem to do equally well when it comes to the things working or not working. Oh, here I go flipping it out again. I don't know why I do that. It works this time, but it makes me pretty nervous just to flip it out on the pan like that. So I would definitely suggest like having something underneath it to keep it from, you know, breaking or having a catastrophe or anything like that. And then just some light tapping on the top to remove the top piece. And ring tapping. Tapping along the edge of the ring. I guess I normally call that the shell piece. That's what I normally call it. I don't know if there's like an actual technical term. I'll have to ask my mold maker friends if there's an actual technical term for it. Like I think when I was like first started making videos, like, hey wait, what are these types of molds called? And they're like, oh, this is a plunger style. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. See, look, I don't know what I'm doing here. Broke one. Yeah, he's okay. This is a little bit more of a hot mess. Yeah, he's okay. Okay, so I broke one. I mean, I think overall, you're gonna break some. You're gonna break some of these bath bombs. Anytime you make bath bombs anyway, you're gonna break some. So just think about, you're making 9 bath bombs in one go. You're gonna break a few. It's okay. Don't stress about it. Just, let it ride. Worst case scenario, come back to it on a different day. Like, if your head is not in the right space for it and things are just not working out, then don't pressure yourself and try to make it work. But you can definitely do this mold, and you're gonna have the cutest freaking bath bombs ever. If you enjoyed this tutorial, you can join us at bathfizzandfoam.com, where we have paid for classes, tutorials, free recipes, color studies, and all kinds of other things you could ever possibly want to learn about bath bombs and bubble bars. You can also visit our Facebook page, Bath Fizz and Foam Bath Bomb Help Group. And of course, I would like to thank Cada Molds for creating these amazing molds that we use. This is the multi-egg bath bomb mold. I will leave a link in the description so you can go get one for yourself. Happy making!